Welcome to Real Talk, the Accountability Series. I am Dr. Teresa A. Smith, Dr. Taz, and I am joined by my co-host, Angelia Smith. Real Talk is presented by DQ Consulting, LLC, empowering individuals and businesses to grow with clarity and confidence.
What you doing?
Well, I've been looking at this picture, Angelia, since before we started. Do you know who's in it?
No, with a picture.
Here it is. For those who are joining by audio, let me tell you who's in this picture. This is a picture from probably almost 2 decades ago. It has my mother, my niece, who is now a college student. It has my sister, my middle sister, Meredith, and it has Angelia, and it has me. That's who's in the picture. It's a younger version of me, and I've just been staring at this picture, and I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. And so that's what I've been looking at, Angelia. I thought, as I was staring at the picture, I remember where we were. We were in a restaurant, um, and I thought about how hopeful I was. We were celebrating Mother, because we used to come together for Mother's birthday, and we were celebrating her. And I looked at this person. I thought, she believes anything is possible. She's hopeful. But then I thought, can she actually see the victories? Because sometimes we allow life's disappointments and the lessons that we're always learning to sometimes overshadow the good things. And I've just been looking at this picture, and of course I'm a little plumper then, and I'm like, I want to believe that I still believe that there was something beautiful ahead. That's my hope when I look at this picture. And I'll show it again for those who are joining us live or who are watching the replay.
Oh, I remember that.
That's me, and that's Angelia, and that's my sister Meredith. That's my niece, and that's Miss Gloria.
I think that was like the first year that we hosted. I think that was the year you hosted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we used to that fun times. But looking at that and I completely relate to what you're saying. It gives us pause, right? To just think about the fact that we all have a version of ourselves, right? It may not be in a picture, it may be just memory, but we all remember what it was like being in some point in time in our life, happier times, sad times, joyous occasions, and then of course times, that we want to truly forget. But somewhere in our memories is a version of ourselves that has kind of gotten lost in the sauce.
Yeah, you're right. You guys, there's a chair for those who cannot see the video. There's a chair that I brought closer to me. This chair is always in the room when I do interviews or I'm online filming here. And I brought the chair closer because I want you to imagine. So just imagine where you are. You may be driving, you may be actually watching, but just imagine there's a chair and your younger self is sitting right there. I don't want to criticize my younger self. We're not judging because it's a judge-free zone. But I want to just remind you of the possibilities, because when we're younger, we see possibilities. We don't see limitations. We talked about, it may have been last week, I talked about when we were little kids and they're pushing you in the swing and you're just going higher and higher, push faster, push harder, or whatever. And then the swing be going up and we just so brave, we just jump right out because we had no fear. We knew that we were going to hit the ground, but we knew we weren't going to get hurt either. So think about the space that you're creating for the younger version of yourself, just to really remind yourself of possibilities now. Because as we get older, we no longer see the world the same. We know that there is danger. And sometimes, for myself, I don't know if it's the same for you, we are a little reluctant to actually embrace possibilities because we want to know that whatever we do, it's going to work out that way. But in life, whether when we were younger or now, it doesn't really work that way. It would be nice if everything just always turned out the way you would like it to, but unfortunately, it's not the way that it is. I want to just say thank you to Judy O'Reilly, 406, for joining us over on IG, and those who are joining us on YouTube and Facebook. But that's just not really the way it is. But what I want to go back to is, what would that younger you smile about? What would they smile about? What dream would they ask you not to give up on? I believe in angels, and an angel just visited me. And basically, the angel said exactly what I said. The angel said to me, regardless of what people understand, when God has given you something, and they said to me, I can see your passion and I see where you're going. I see what you're building. When God has given you something, you have to hold on to that and not allow what others can see with their eyes or what they hear to take you off your course. Now, I know that, and I'll probably be telling you guys that, but I'm very transparent. The person who is guiding other people also needs help. If I go spiritual for just a moment, Christ prayed to his Father. He was the Messiah. He had all power in his hand. He was God in the flesh, but he still needed to pray to his Father. So when you have people that support you, or you hear things that rub you, and you think, oh, you have to consider the source. But you also have to remember, this is what the person said to me, that was the angel that God sent, was that when God gives you something, remember, he gave it to you.
Yep.
You can't expect man to understand what God has given you. And I didn't have much time to sit with it before we went live, because I'm sitting with it now with you guys. But he's right, because I cannot understand your path. I may have some insights, but when it comes to the intricacies of your path and your journey, I really can't conceive that. Because when God has given you something, man's eyes, we cannot conceive. Because if we're honest, we really don't truly conceive all that he's given us. So the point of that is to don't give up. Don't quit. My company is DQ Consulting. DQ stands for Don't Quit. That's what DQ stands for, don't quit. And God gave me that several decades ago now, because I was asking him for a name, and we come full circle. You don't quit. It's going to get tough. Real talk, trying to figure out who we are and being kind to us as we would be kind to our friends. Being kind to that younger version of us is very important. Don't quit on yourself. Don't quit on the person that's sitting in the chair. And if you listen to this by audio, don't sit on the person lying in the bed with you. It's you. Don't quit on the person that's over there in the car, on the passenger side of your car. If you're sitting at a table, don't quit on that person that's sitting across for you, sitting beside you, because it's you. It's you. And that person the younger version and the older version, they're counting on you to make it through. So, like I said, that smile, that smile. Oh,
But I don't know. I'm over here saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're not going to cry tonight. Y'all not gonna get me. Not gonna get me. I was in the world of tickety talk, and we're wrapping up Mercury retrograde and getting ready to embark into Saturn retrograde. And today, people were saying like, "Well, today's been a very emotional day," and I'm like, like, I don't think I've been emotional, but it's like people been crying, and I was like, there Teresa go. I felt it. And I was like, you're not gonna cry. You're not gonna cry. Like, you're not gonna cry. Like, I'm a softie. Like, I can be hard, but I'm a softie too. But, just thinking about, like my younger self. Ugh, my younger self, baby. Yeah, she was very fearless.
yeah.
I always go back to when we was in Rio de Janeiro. Neither one of us know how to swim, and we out there in the middle of the ocean. I didn't have on no boat shoes, no shoe. I had on some Converses, okay? Converses, trying to get from this little bitty boat that took us to this bigger boat, and I'm just slipping and sliding, and it's like I didn't have a care in the world. Because what? YOLO. You only live once, right? And then us walking through the Amazon, and here's Teresa. Hey guys, this is Dr. Todd. And we're over, and I'm over here like, girl, we went to lions, tigers, and bears, oh my. And she just, well, I gotta get my recording done. But when I reflect on that version of me, and that was 7 years ago, because it was right before COVID. I'm like, man, I wish that person existed today. I think when I started that whole I'm on this healing journey, I think I did too much. Because that fearless person, she's still there. I just got to tap into her. I just got to love her some more. I just got to let her know that it wasn't easy. It wasn't. But, I dream big. I pretty much, anything that I put my mind to it, for the most part, I accomplish it in some shape, form, or fashion. No matter the balls that life throws at me, I would definitely tell her, like, girl, you did it. See, I'm not going to get me crying. Not gonna get me crying. I felt it. We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. But like, you turned out okay. Not too bad, girl. You went through a lot, but you learned a lot. But you overcame a lot. We're not gonna do that. So no, it wasn't easy. And yes, I'm feeling because I'm like, I feel it. It wasn't easy. I continue to dream big, even now I continue to dream big. But I had no idea really where I would be right now. We have the nonprofit, HOPE, helping others love themselves. And it's like what that meant then doesn't even have the same meaning that it means now. Because we're not those people. We have evolved, we have grown. And so as a result, you just never forget. Never forget your experiences. Oh, I guess I am going to cry. You never forget your experiences because your experiences help mold and shape you to the person that you become and that you're becoming. So when you said that, yeah, I remember that we did used to come together. But then life started life. And so now we don't do that anymore. So it's funny that that's the picture that you chose to show.
Well,
Oh,
well, I'm going to say it. It was a God thing
of course.
because it was not what I had planned to pull. But I think it's very befitting at this point. But, Angelia, I think somebody needed to hear that. We spend so much time focusing on what we haven't done that we sometimes forget how far we've come already. And when you said helping others love themselves, I remember, I think I I know what was going on at the time, but I want to say when you told me the name of the nonprofit, I want to say I think I was in Chicago. I think I was
You were in
Illinois.
Chicago.
I was in Chicago. And when you told me the name of the nonprofit, I said, that's it. Because it's Holt. But when you told me helping others love themselves, I said, that's it.
Yeah.
And I know what was going on with me personally at that time. And now to hear you say that the name of the nonprofit, I don't know if you got what I got.
Got a lot.
I'm sure you did.
That's why I started crying.
I'm sure you did. And that is why you cried. Because what it reminded me of, because you're right, we did some wonderful work with our after school programming up under Holt. But when I look at where we are right now, and I look at the things that we've done over the last 3 years, probably since we started Real Talk with Taz and Angelia, which is a different show, because this is special. This is a special that I'm doing. But when we started Real Talk with Taz and Angelia, for those who know that story, she fought me the whole way. And last year, we published the book, right? Real Talk with Taz and Angelia. Was that last year?
That was this year.
Oh, so much done. Was that just this year? I don't think it was. I don't know what year it was. We published this book.
That was just in January.
Oh, and then I did Edit Like a Pro.
But I lived a whole lot this year.
And then I done a whole lot this year. So we dropped Real Talk with Taz and Angelia. Oh, you're right. Real Talk with Taz and Angelia. Then I did Edit Like a Pro. And then, of course, now I'm releasing Cracks in the Empire. But let me tell you something that you said, and I don't want you to miss it. Because we're celebrating where we've come from, and I want others to celebrate how far they've come on their journey too. Because we all got things we got to work on. That's just life. But when you said helping others love themselves, and I'm not gonna cry, but if I cry, guys, it means because they're happy tears. To understand, and I don't know if it was 2011, and it may have been 2011 that we incorporated Holt. To now come 15 years later and realize that when I told you we have to do Real Talk, we got to do a show. And when you understand the concept of the Real Talk show, it's about helping others love themselves. Did you catch it? Did you catch it?
Yeah.
Because we say Holt. We don't normally say what Holt stands for. Helping others love themselves. So for those who've been following me, that's who I am. Helping you to love yourself. Helping me to love myself. Why was this parable so important to me? Because for me, most of my books are a curriculum. I don't normally say it that way. But, as Miss Gloria say, she has not answered not one question because she said them questions be hard. That's what my mother says. But when I write, I always write from this perspective of helping others love themselves. And I didn't realize it because we know my platform is about becoming stronger and transformation. But Holt, helping others love themselves. So, like with this book, there are 11 chapters, but they're quite short chapters, I'm going to tell you. And at the end, there are questions and there are reflections because I'm wanting you to see yourself in this character so that you can ultimately see what you need to work on for you personally so that you can love yourself. And when you said that, Angelia, I just wasn't expecting it because that puts a bow on everything that we do. everything that we do, everything I do individually, it puts a bow on it. And I just think that's it's so enlightening. And it lines up with the angel that was with me right beforehand. And also, when I think now, we spent 5 weeks talking about cracks, not because, like I said, we want you to focus on what was broken. I want you to focus on what's possible. Because the protagonist or the lead in this book, he discovers what's possible. And he's a better man for it because he stopped resisting. And he's a better man for it. And that's my hope, that as people go through this book and you read the story and it's entertaining, because I want it to be entertaining, then you do the exercises, you are able to see what you might need to work on, but also see how far you come. Because when you do your reflection, you'll be like, oh yeah, last year this time, I didn't even understand that, but I got it now. And now I see how other people could have viewed me when they were looking at me, but I didn't always see it. And that, I think, is what life is all about, being able to have those breakthroughs,
And boy, when you have them, they be at the most impromptu moments.
Always.
Oh yeah, that download was heavy. But it's been a good 5 weeks. I hope people have grown. Hope you learned. Hope you laughed. Even cried a little. 'Cause I know I have. But it's what brings us here every week. And so I am kind of sad that it's coming to an end, but don't you worry. The story always continues, because this is not the end of my story, nor is it the end of your story.
It's not.
No.
And I'm sorry. It's not. And I just want to level set here and say that this segment is brought to you by Irene Vaxberg. After a life-changing accident left her in chronic pain, Irene Vaxberg refused to give up. Today, she inspires others by sharing her journey to hope and healing. Follow Irene Vaxberg on Instagram. Find her at GotHealth_VAKSBERG Vaxberg. I really don't want to bring this to a close. I know we have to. All good things have to come to an end.
Yeah.
But I want us to very quickly, we don't have to really answer out loud, but just think real quick. When was the last time you checked in with yourself? Not your job, not them responsibility, not everybody else's expectation, but you, that person who's sitting there in that empty chair, the person that's in your picture frame. When is the last time you checked in with that person? What one word describes the person that you're becoming? Because when you check in with yourself, then you get a chance to say, oh, I'm not that person anymore. I'm evolving. I'm becoming someone else. And it's okay. I don't have to have anyone else's permission to become the person that I'm becoming, because God made me unique. And I don't need other people's permission to become the person that I am supposed to become. Anja, the one thing that I think that we've talked about, I don't know if it's been this direct, but the person that we're becoming today is the person that our future self has to contend with. And sometimes that is a challenge. So I guess what I'm saying is, because I love to give homework. Don't y'all throw no stones at me. I know it's always a homework with me and my stuff. But I invite you to write a letter to yourself. to you, not to your children, not to your spouse, your boss, your soror, anybody else, your pastor, but to you.
Yeah.
Tell yourself what you're proud of. Maybe write it to that younger version and tell them what you're proud of, what you're letting go of, what you're choosing not, what you're choosing next. What you're proud of, what you're letting go of, what you're choosing next, and then seal it. And think about it. It's like a time capsule. Read it a year from the day that you do that.
Ooh, that's some serious homework.
Yeah.
But that means you have to take the step, though. If you know me, you know me in my real life. I'm very big on astrology and zodiacs and this and that. But we go through these seasons with these various retrogrades, and it's like we're supposed to learn the lesson. That's why some of us go through things a little bit harder doing the retrogrades, because we don't learn the lesson. I guess they nicely phrase it as, it's a karmic situation. I'm gonna call it a Groundhog Day situation. It's the same lesson showing up, but just presents itself in a different way. So, as we've mentioned during this series, you should be proud of yourself. Don't let anyone write your story. You write your story. You don't have to be that person who you were 5 years ago. You don't even got to be the person that you were 2 weeks ago. You are in control of who you desire to be, regardless of what people may say, because them naysayers are going to hate. And I can remember being at the illustrious, my nephew going to get me, but I don't care. At the illustrious Winston-Salem State University. And I was in my intro to communication class, and we had to do a speech. And I remember I titled it like a letter to my fans. And I just don't know what my classmates thought was going to come out my mouth. See, I should have knew then that I had a little spice to me. But my fans were my haters. My fans were the people who said that I never would make it. I never would be here today. But let me tell you, honey, this girl from this no-name town, yes, the no-name town, where we stay the county. We don't even say the town we from. And I was telling somebody about that recently, and they was like, what? I said, yeah, girl, we don't even say we from Linesville. We say we're from Anson County. Just as country as it can be, but it's okay, because, that's all we know, right? Because people have heard of the county, but they don't necessarily know the town, right? So then when you try to describe where you're at, I've been through there on the way to the... Yes, you've been there on the way through... Yes.
Yep.
So being from this rural, small town where there's no resources, in the middle of nowhere, no mall, no movie theater, none of the glitz and glam that a lot of the surrounding cities and towns have, we still made it. So that was a shout out to all of my haters, because thank you. Thank you for continuing to motivate me. Thank you for letting me know that I bother you and that I get under your skin. Why? Because that just helps me continue to be the best version for me, not for you, but for me. And as long as people are talking about you and worried about what you're doing, what you got going on, that means, you must be doing something right. Because if people ain't talking about you, then that means you're not doing enough. So Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something. Don't let anyone try to change who you are or make you feel bad because you don't want to do this, you want to do something else. Don't be or get discouraged. Because what is for me is for me. The path that is for me is going to open doors for me. Stop chasing the waterfalls. One day I'm gonna tell you about that. Not today. But stop chasing the waterfalls. What is the path that you would have for yourself? And I'm pretty sure that your younger self, even your present self, and most certainly your future self will appreciate the action, not just talking about it. I had created a whole song. I can't sing that on here though, but I had created a whole song prior to about people doing a whole lot of talking and ain't doing no walking. So if you know, you know. So continue to be the best version of you that you can be. Show up for yourself, even if no one else shows up for you, because you are your own cheerleader. And I highly recommend doing the homework assignment. I know it's hard to think about self, right? Because it's so easy to write letters to everybody else. But no, seriously, take this time for you. Because you're absolutely right. I have not checked in with myself today. That's probably why myself was about to pop off.
You're gonna pop off?
I was gonna pop off because I hadn't checked in with me. I done checked in with everybody else today, and I haven't said, Angelia, girl, you all right? Nah, girl, I'm not all right. Cause let me tell you what's been going on with me. I haven't had that conversation with self. You know, they used to say, well, you know, just don't, you can talk to yourself, but just don't answer back. I'm like, honey, no, I got to answer back. Because sometimes just talking to me not gonna get me nowhere. I got the dialogue with me like I'm dialoguing with somebody else because this is called real talk. And if I can't be real with me, then I certainly don't need to be real with anybody else.
Well, thank you, Anjay, for that real talk. And you are so accurate with that. And I want to say thank you to Makeup by Joanna 1980 for joining us over on IG. You're right. We have to be real. And so when I picked this picture up, today, I thought I was remembering my past, but I was remembering hope. You know, this young lady, and I think all of us, I'm gonna speak for everybody in this picture. I think we all believe that there was still something beautiful ahead. Now I want to get emotional. There was something beautiful ahead. And I think we were all right. And I think for each of us, the three sisters, the niece, your daughter, and our mother, I think we all had a different vision of what that beautiful thing was. But I think we all thought there was something beautiful ahead. And just like this mixed grouping of us in the picture was thinking that, so are you. Something beautiful is ahead. Your story is still being written. That's why Desmond's story was important to me, because you see where he started from, but that's not where he ended. And even in the last two chapters, he has to understand and begins to see it. Yes, you've made some changes, but the story is still being written. And that is the beauty of life. That no matter where we start at, no matter how we get thrown off our path, no matter what happens to us, we can still rewrite our story. And I would be remiss if I didn't link it, because I write and I think a certain way. There's something that anchors all of us. That's the reason I did the limited series, Faith Matters. It's not necessarily faith, but it may be faith for you. But there's something that anchors all of us. There was something that anchored Desmond. We have to reclaim our identity. Sometimes we don't even know we lost it. He didn't know he had lost it. Desmond didn't know he had lost his identity. There had to be some real talk. He goes and he has a chat with somebody. He had a little real talk, and it was real talk. And then he got the confidence that he needed to begin to rewrite his story. And there becomes a time in the story where he falters and he wants to go back to doing what he was accustomed to doing. Because we talk about it all the time. Unfortunately, we want to go back to the familiar because we feel comfortable there. And he had that moment too. But then he had all these things happening simultaneously. He had something different anchoring him now. He had begun to understand who he really was and what his strength was. And he had to have that quick real talk because all that was happening simultaneously. And then he said, no, I won't go back. He can cross the Red Sea. He said, I won't go back. I'm going to keep going forward because I'm going to rewrite my story. And then again, you know how life happened again. And he said, no, I won't do it the way the old Desmond would have done it. I'm going to do it the way the Desmond who's becoming, how he would do it. And he did it a different way. And he got a good result. So I could not show you the Stronger Transformation Framework that frames everything that I do, all the content that I provide. There's a rhythm to it. There's a rhythm. So it's not by accident tonight is talking about your story is still being written. Because the fourth component of the Stronger Transformation Framework talks about rewriting your story. So if you take nothing else away from this series, thank you again for everybody who's joined us throughout. Thank you for those. Thank you so much, Nurse. I'm going to mispronounce it. Sukai, S-U-K-H-I, who's joined us over on IG too. Thank you for joining us. So those who are going to listen on the replay, those who are going to watch it on the replay, if you take nothing else from the Cracks in the Empire series, remember there's something that anchors all of us. And hold on to that anchor, whatever it is, as long as it's a positive thing, guys. I got to say that. Hold on to your positive anchor. Who you are. Don't let anybody tell you you're not enough. Who you are, your identity. If you've lost it, you can find it again. Reclaim your identity. Have that real talk with yourself. Judge Greg Mathis may call it the tough love. Those tough conversations that you have to have with yourself. And if you can't do it, have someone that you can trust who has your best interest at heart that will have those conversations with you. And then remember, you can always rewrite your story. And you can rewrite it and rewrite it and rewrite it. And if you think about life, every day that we are honored to be able to wake up another day, we rewrite our story. Because tomorrow is not promised. It's the future. We don't know what the future holds. But when we are living in the future, meaning we're living in the next day, we're writing the story. We're writing that story. And the next day, if we need to rewrite it a little bit, we can. If what you wrote first thing in the morning is not the way you want your day to end, you can rewrite it. We hold the pen. We've got the pen. We've got it. And that is what Cracks in the Empire is about. That is what really my whole platform is about. Helping others love themselves, helping them to become stronger, helping them to transform. That's what I do. That's what I live. That's what I live every day. So thank you. Remember that. If you remember nothing else, remember that whatever anchors you, hold on to it if it's something positive. Reclaim your identity if you've lost it. Do some real talk and understand you can rewrite your story. Thank you guys again for joining us for the Dr. Todd's Presents Real Talk. The crack that was never the problem. It was actually ignoring it. It has been a blast, Angelia, hosting this series with you. I couldn't do it without you. I appreciate all of your support. You are always a gem. And I'm just so glad you decided you're going to sign on with me. And I do appreciate you so very much. If I don't tell you enough, I really do appreciate you. And to my audience, I appreciate all of your support. You guys have been here with me from the beginning. I could not do this without you. And understand that every piece of content, whether it's a video, whether it's my little short movies, I'm dropping something there, my short movies, or whether it's the books, I'm always trying to figure out how I can get you different content that's going to help you to love yourself and grow into the person that you know that you are. So until next time, Angelia, and to our audience, you know the drill. Before you go trying to take care of someone else, make sure you take care of yourself first. Bye now. Bye. You're very welcome, Lotus Egyptian Flower. Thank you so much. You're very welcome.